Madam Chair, and congratulations to you, Ombuds Jardine, and thanks to you and your staff who are here with us. I have a kind of a bigger question and then some smaller ones that fit underneath that. The big question is whether currently you have a policy in place, your office has a policy in place, that before you close a file, you check with the parties, in particular with the complainant, on whether or not they're ready to have you close the file. And my related question is whether there's any information about cases where there have been secondments from Veterans Affairs to DND CAF and what happens with those cases. I ask this question because for over a year now, I've been following two situations like my general question out of Edmonton, and we're now at 100 weeks, and there is no resolution in sight. And on two occasions, the file has been closed long before the complainant was ready for that to happen. There was no resolution thus far.
Senator McFedrin, thank you very much for your kind words, and thank you for this excellent question. From what I understand in the short time that I've been in the position, my frontline staff and the director of the intervention unit, whenever they take this work to heart. It's an honor for my staff to work with veterans and their family members who are having issues with VAC. If we have a case that has clearly taken very long to resolve, I am absolutely certain that my director is personally involved. I'm briefed on a bi-weekly basis on the status of these cases. I have to admit that there isn't one coming to mind, and I would think that I should probably know what this is. Perhaps it's escaped my attention, or I'm not completely aware of all of them. But I know that our staff work very hard to ensure that when we've done everything we can for a veteran or their family member, that we do our very best to help them understand where their file has landed and what sort of the final, where we can stop, where we have to stop, where we can go no further. But perhaps I'll ask Dwayne if he's aware of cases that have dragged on to this length of time, almost 2 years, and whether you can add anything to what I've just said, Dwayne.
And if I may just clarify, I'm talking about where you are dealing with secondments.
Yes. So, Senator, I think so. The VAC, the DND CAF Ombudsman deals with internal employment issues in DND and the CAF, but the Veterans Ombudsman only deals with veterans complaints with respect to services provided by Veterans Affairs Canada. So secondments, employment, that wouldn't fall within our mandate, if I'm understanding your question correctly. What we do on the complaint side is we typically send out a survey to veterans after we finish dealing with their complaint, whether they're treated fairly or whether we've determined they were treated fairly or unfairly, to ensure that we get feedback on our process and the level of satisfaction they had with our communication throughout. Did that answer your question? Sorry.
Partially. Can I just ask, Madam Chair, just for a quick clarification, do you follow up where there's a secondment, where it may have ended up on the DND side, but it started with you and the employees started with you? Do you follow up in those secondment cases to try to determine what actually happened to your employee after their secondment?
Can I ask the witness to be quick in the answer, certainly, so we can move on?
Senator, we do not receive, we cannot, it's outside of my mandate to receive complaints from anyone who is not a veteran or a family member and seeking or in their interaction with Veterans Affairs. So if it's an employee, someone who is and it's a matter of their employment, they would not be able to come to my office. We would refer them elsewhere. Perhaps they were referred to the D&D or CAF ombudsman.
So there's not much communication there. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.